Good evening. I'd like to call to order the special meeting of the Fall River School Committee for Tuesday, October 29th, 2019 to order. Madam Secretary. Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Agia? Here. Mr. Coogan? Mr. Costa?
Here.
Mr. Hetzler?
Here.
Mr. Corey?
Here.
Mr. Martins? Mayor Corral.
Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. Would you please join me for a salute to our flag, please?
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is citizens' input. Just for the record, there are no individuals who've signed up for citizens' input this evening. Attorney Assad, is there a request for a reason for executive session this evening?
Yes, there would, Mr. Chair. The committee of the whole, there is no business before the committee of the whole today, so we will move on to the executive session. And with your instruction, we will read the reasons for it.
Attorney Assad, for the record, would you please read the reasons for executive session this evening?
First is Mass General Laws, Chapter 38, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to litigation regarding the lawsuit filed in the Bristol County Superior Court, Colleen Murray Hackett versus Meg Mayo Brown, Fall River Schools and Fall River School Committee, docket number 1673, CV 00486, as the chair has determined that an open session may have a detrimental impact on the litigation position of the school committee. Secondly, Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy regarding the potential litigation relative to an acting mayor's authority with respect to the school committee, as the chair has determined that an open session may have a detrimental impact on the litigating position of the school committee. Third would be Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiation with non-union personnel and/or to conduct contract negotiations with non-union personnel, including Deborah Cabral, Administrative Assistant to the School Committee, Jacob Pereira, Fred TV, Media Editor Instructor, Jim Maduris, Assistant Director of Administrative and Environmental Services, Joe Correa, Director of Administrative and Environmental Services, Michael Ferreira, Programming Manager, Fred TV, Jolene Smith, Human Resources Coordinator, Veronica Amorin, Data Technician, Thomas Rose, Finance Manager, Paula Soers, Administrative Assistant, Office of Instruction. We would reconvene. There may not be statements at that time.
Is there a motion for executive session?
So moved.
Made by Mr. Hetzler. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Martins. Roll call.
Question.
Question. Mr. Agia?
So I understand that the reason why we even scheduled this special meeting was relative to the issue of who's going to be the chair. And I don't think there's any need for the executive session at this point. Acting Mayor Cliff Ponte has been very professional, and he's said that he's not even going to challenge whether there's some ambiguity in the charter. So I don't think that we have a need for the executive session, quite frankly. These other items are not priority matters, and the real issue here was whether we were going to have a chairman. We do have a chairman. The vice chairman is here to run the meeting. The vice chairman is going to run the meetings going forward. So I really don't see any need to go into executive session. So I'll be voting against this, and I hope my colleagues do as well, so we can adjourn the meeting and we'll meet again in November. With that, I yield.
Thank you, Mr. Agia. Any further discussion? Roll call. Mr. Martins?
Mr. Agia, how would you relate your motion to the very first session, item for the executive session?
Mr. Martins is asking you, Mr. Agia, how would you relate your... I'm sorry, I didn't catch it, Mr. Martins.
How would Mr. Agia relate his motion to the very first item on the executive session list.
I think the only reason why those items are on there were as placeholders. The real issue was only the item, the second item, so I don't think there's any issues that we need to address that are time-sensitive related to those, either the first matter or the third matters. Those can wait until the next meeting. They were only added, in my opinion, based on us having this special meeting for the purposes of the chairman issue.
Thank you. Roll call?
Mr. Agia?
No.
Mr. Coogan?
Yes.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Hetzler?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Martins?
Yes.
Mayor Correa?
This committee will stand in recess for executive session. I'd like to call the special meeting of the Fall River School Committee back to order. Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Coogan? Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Hetzler?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Martins?
Yes.
Mayor Correa?
As a result of the executive session, are there any motions to be made this evening?
I'd like to make a motion we approve the contract as negotiated between Jacob Pereira, FR, ED Media Editor and Instructor, and the Fall River Public Schools.
It's been a motion made by Mr. Hetzler. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Corey. Roll call.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Coogan? Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Hetzler?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Martins?
I'd like to make a motion we approve the contract as negotiated between Derek Cabral, Administrative Assistant to the School Committee, and the Fall River Public Schools.
Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Agia. Roll call.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Coogan? Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Hetzler?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yep.
Mr. Martins? Mayor Correa?
I'd like to make the motion to approve the contract as negotiated between Jim Medeiros, Assistant Director of Administrative and Environmental Services, and the Fall River Public Schools.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Agia. Roll call.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Coogan? Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Hetzler?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yep.
Mr. Martins? Mayor Correa?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract as negotiated between Joe Correa, Director of Administrative and Environmental Services, and the Fall River Public Schools.
Second.
Made by Mr. Hetzler, seconded by Mr. Agia. Roll call.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Coogan? Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Hetzler?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Martins? Mayor Correa?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract as negotiated between Michael Ferrera, Programming Manager at Fred TV, and the Fall River Public Schools.
Made by Mr. Hetzler. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Corey. Roll call.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Coogan? Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Hetzler?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Martins? Mayor Correa?
I'd like to make the motion to approve the contract as negotiated between Jolene Smith, Human Resources Coordinator, and the Fall River Public Schools.
Motion's been made by Mr. Hetzler. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Corey. Roll call.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Coogan? Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Hetzler?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Martins? Mayor Correa?
I make a motion to approve the contract as negotiated between Veronica Amarin, Data Technician, and the Fall River Public Schools.
Made by Mr. Hetzler. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Corey. Roll call.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Coogan? Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Hetzler?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Martins? Mayor Correa?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract as negotiated between Thomas Rose, Finance Manager, and the Fall River Public Schools.
Motion's been made by Mr. Hetzler. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Corey. Roll call.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Coogan? Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Hetzler?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Martins? Mayor Correa?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract as negotiated between Paula Soares, Administrative Assistant in the Office of Instruction, and the Fall River Public Schools.
Motion's been made by Mr. Hetzler. Is there a second? Seconded by
Second.
Mr. Agia. Roll call.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Coogan? Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Hetzler?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Martins? Mayor Correa?
Next item is new business. Is there any new business before the committee that,
I'd like to make a motion
Mr. Hetzler?
that we hold a special meeting on November 13th.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Corey. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Coogan? Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Hetzler?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Martins? Mayor Correa?
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Made by Mr. Agia, seconded by Mr. Corey. Roll call.
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Coogan? Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Hetzler?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Martins? Mayor Correa?
This meeting stands adjourned.